Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio. Welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be learning Twilight Musings by Marthamir, and this is from the collection of Romantic Impressions. That's your book, and this is level 4. So this level is for intermediate, late intermediate slash early advanced. So at this level, you should be comfortable playing in, different ranges, different octaves. It's like some jumps and leaps. You should be comfortable moving your hands up and down the keyboard. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you should be able to do that. As well as playing chords, as well as playing arpeggios and some scale type of stuff. All right. Definitely, you should be able to read music at this stage. If you're not able to, that's a big problem, and you are behind, my friend. So, if you're not able to read music, just check out some of my easier sheet music or like my lessons as well, my easier piano lessons. And when you get up to that level, then come back here and play it with the music, okay? Because if you're only learning by ear, you're doing yourself a serious disservice. I don't teach by ear, although that's a good skill to have, all right? But the sheet music's there. And pick up a copy, by the way. It's in the cards as well as the video description below. And also, when you're done with the stuff that I'm trying to teach you in these lessons, make sure you go on over to the tutorial to check out and test yourself, okay? So the lesson is the game plan. The tutorial is more of the test, okay? This is Twilight Musings, and let me show you how to practice this piece, okay? I'm going to explain these concepts as we go along. Not a lot, but a lot of different ways we could use it. All right, so from the beginning, I'm going to simply play the first part. I'm going to stop where I feel like. Okay. Okay, so that was about 4 measures. Now, when you're trying to practice and let's say this is your first introduction to actually trying to practice effectively. All right, I'm showing you here. We're gonna small chunk it, so you're picking the smallest part possible. So for now, it's about 4 measures, going from the beginning to measure 5. All right. Now we're just gonna simplify it as well. Sometimes you don't need to practice hands separate, but in this case, it is a good idea to do so. All right, here's right hand. And we're gonna simply just try it together at the same time. Ready, go. Okay, I feel like I'm taking it a bit fast, so I'm gonna slow it down. Now, we're gonna move on to the left hand. So, a lot of fifths here. Alright, now left hand, we'll just try that together. Ready, go. Okay, now we're gonna go back to both hands. Listen first. Okay, try it together. Ready, go. Alright, now I'm gonna keep it going. Oh, sorry, I kind of messed up there, but that's about it. Okay, back to the left hand or right hand first. Try it together. Ready, go. And back to the left hand again. hand, ready, go. Okay, so at measure 7, you can practice doing a legato here because he wants you to play with the third finger and simply switch to the thumb. Now here's a little bit trickier because with this we have a whole half note, so we can hold it for about 2 beats. Here just 1 beat. See that? 1, 1, and then so forth. Okay. All right, back to both hands. Okay, ready, go. Alright, so we have one part and another part. Now we're just going to go back and put it together. So I'll say at this beginning, the way I'm analyzing this, I mean, we have to move on in the lesson. Maybe I'll change my mind about it, but just sounds like the introduction. So from the beginning all the way to measure 9. Now I stop at 9 because that's the beginning of the next part. When you stop one note to the next measure, you have just automatically connected it. You don't have to go back and practice connecting that, okay? Alright, now here it is from the beginning. I'm going to play both hands. And we're going to follow the same format. Both hands, then I'm going to do right hand together, left hand together, back to both hands together, okay? The reason I'm doing that too, because if you just do a lot of observation first, you know, watch a lot of people do a lot of demonstrations, it speeds up the process. Now, when you get better at this, you might try to do it yourself first, and then listen to the part to see what it sounds like. But in the beginning, you know, this is kind of, you're new to practicing efficiently. It's good to just do a lot of observation. Take a lot of notes, man, okay? Or woman. All right, here we go. All right, right hand. Together, ready, go. Now to the left hand. Ready, go. Okay. Both hands, yeah, that's right. Okay, ready, go. Okay, now that's the first major part, and you see when you do smaller parts like this, it could take quite a while. So for this live stream, I'm just going to do larger sections, so it doesn't take too long. Because I know you guys got a busy day and you don't You know, sometimes you don't have the time to watch an hour lesson, okay? So I understand that. I get you, all right? So the other important thing we have to talk about is, I'll try to do this as briefly as possible. First part of practice, and this is mainly two principles that I'm teaching by at the moment, and then it could change over time because the more you learn, the more you try different things out. So I might not be teaching like this forever, but in the meantime, this is chunking. The second important concept is spaced repetition. So that means instead of doing it the traditional way, like a 10 or 20 times like in a row till you get it perfect, you know, like perfect, don't go for perfection. Although that works for the short term. If you have some deadline coming up, then you can't practice this way I'm telling you. But if you have a longer time, over a period of time, like this is the better approach. This is called spaced repetition. You're just gonna do it enough times where you feel like you're making a bit of progress. Then you're just gonna move on in the piece. Don't get one part perfect. Just get it good enough, move on, do some other stuff, whatever you want at the piano. It doesn't even have to be the same piece. And then about 10 minutes later, you come back, practice the same part, it will improve. And it might not take a day or 2 days, it might be in a week, you're like, wow, it's getting better, I'm spending less time on this, okay? So spaced repetition, I don't have enough time to cover it in today's lesson, so look it up online after this lesson is over. Spaced repetition, okay, this is measure 9. Wrong note. Actually, that was right. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there, but you could technically continue it all the way to measure 17 because this is where it actually ends. I'm only stopping there because there's a page turn. All right. Now let me show you. Here it's kind of interesting. I can show you the different patterns. Once you know the patterns, sometimes it really cuts the learning curve. So left hand is just a bunch of octaves with fifths in the middle. All right. And then here. Seventh, so this is where a little bit of harmony analysis comes in handy. So octave with fifths, here we have a seventh, or seventh, another seventh chord, major seventh I should say now, octave with the fifth in the middle, no, did I say dominant seventh? That should be dominant, I get that mixed up. Another seventh chord, another seventh chord, okay? Octave, octave, seventh, seventh, octave, seventh, seventh. So for your harmony people out there, I hope that helps you. Now I'm just gonna play it normally. I like to hold the bass as well, when possible. Two reasons you want to do that. This is no pedal, right? The reason why you hold that is because if you get a nice enough bass, it makes the voicing a lot easier. So I can create different layers of sound. The second reason is it keeps you from depending on the pedal too much, okay? All right, try that with me now. This is measure 9 to the bottom of the page. Ready, go. Alright, now the right hand. Now we just have the melody up here. And the inner voices. So we have a fifth, going to another fifth, third, third, fourth, third, and then this is part of the melody here. So it's kind of useful. This is also why it's a little bit useful to do a bit of interval as well. You don't have to go crazy, right? But in a nutshell, it's just this. Kind of need to hear it that way. Okay, now let me play normally. Okay, try it together, much slower. That was a bit too fast. Ready, go. Whoops. Alright, back to both hands. need to block it out together, because you can kind of hear the harmony a lot easier. Okay, anyway, let's do it normally now. Ready, go. Okay, so my earlier analysis, I thought from the beginning to measure 9 was the intro. This is actually still a major section, so that's kind of the intro, but you see it's the same melody as the beginning. So it's very similar to that introduction. So you could call it introduction, but to me it also continues on. So it's like an intro, but it's also part of this major section. So the beginning to measure 9, here's how I would label it. I would say A1. And then we're going to say measure 9 all the way to measure 17 is A2. And obviously, you go from the beginning all the way to measure 17 is the entire A section. So this is why you need to small chunk and also begin to really understand form, all right? So I'm going to continue from 13. This is the second part of A2. I hope you're not getting too mixed up here, all right? We're gonna just go all the way to measure 17 now. The next page. Okay, so clearly you hear something very different from there. All right, I'm just gonna go back. Just do right hand, left hand, hands together. Same business, okay? Count that right. Let me show you how I'm playing that roll. That is what I'm talking about when I say roll. How I'm playing that very slowly. So I think first you want to really pick it apart. So just get comfortable doing that. Voicing to the top because that's where the melody is. Then, just want to focus on playing that thumb. And then, until you can do it as one whole. It's the best advice I can offer. Hope that helps you, okay? Right hand together now. This is 13 to 17. Ready, go. Back to the left hand. Together, ready, go. Back to both hands. Ready, go. Okay, so for those of you watching this replay at home, make sure you pause it, go back and put this section together from measure 9. So it's 9 to 17. Remember what we called that? We called that 8-2. Then when you do that, go from the very beginning all the way to measure 17, and that's the entire A section, okay? I'm gonna keep going. Alright, so I played that entire section, as I said I would. Now, if this is kind of your introduction to small chunking, we're just going to call it that process, you might not be able to do an entire section this long. So, you know, just split it up. So we're going from measure 17. I went all the way to, was that about 25. Next page, 17 and 25. So you can just literally split that in half, all right? But for the purpose of this live stream, I just presented to you the entire, what do we call this section? Well, the beginning was A. Obviously, this one is going to be a B. Okay? All right. So I'm taking it from the pickup to measure 17. Just the right hand. Okay, together now from the pickup. And we need to count a rest here, count it properly. Ready, go, rest. So wait for that rest that I say. Ready, go, rest. Okay, now the left hand, let's take it from the pickup as well. Pickup is going to be, if you don't know what I'm talking about, last beat of the previous measure. So pick up to 17. To 25, all right? Here we go. Ready, go. Okay, because I'm not pressing hard enough deeply on these keys. Some of them is not coming out. Sorry about that. Back to both hands. You can add a little retardando there. I'm not sure if I'm doing it in the tutorial, but you can. This is totally okay to add that. All right, let's take it from the. You know what? Let's just take it from 16, the third beat. So left hand. Easier to count that way. Okay. Ready, go. Well, let me try it again. Ready, go. Okay, man, this is a little off screen. It's gonna be kind of hard to see here, but we're gonna be going up an octave higher. Alright, can you see that? It's just barely out there. Let me see if I'm gonna scoot over to the right, see if I can get that up there. Okay, I might miss some of the left hand as well, but because we're going up an octave. Okay, now 25. So to pick up to 25 to the end. I'm just gonna play this whole last section for you as I play it, and you can pause it or whatever after I'm done playing it before I share my thoughts. I want you to be thinking of how you would categorize this last section. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm kind of messing this up. I'm gonna play it one more time after this, but you can keep going. ever since I played this. All right, let me play it one more time. But you know, think about how would you classify this last section? Okay, so your answer is now how I would classify it. Well, it's kind of obvious to me. You hear the melody come back, kind of like the beginning. Okay, so if we had from the beginning to measure from beginning to measure 8 or 9, we call that A1, and then we said measure 9 to measure 17, A2. What I would do is simply call it from measure 25 to, let's see, to 32. 25 to 32, I would call that A3, because it's still very similar to the beginning parts, A, but this is clearly a little bit different as well. Now, why did I stop at 32? Because 32 is where the ending is, so we're gonna call that the coda, okay? So we have 25 to 32, A3, the coda, 32 to the end. So let me just play it up to 32 actually. And we're just gonna do the same thing, hands separate, hands together. Practice the coda as well, hands separate, hands together, play it together, all right? And also, just want to quickly ask you guys before I go ahead and do this, and we're gonna wrap this up in a bit. But if you've enjoyed this lesson and if you're learning something from it, hit that like button, help me out, support me. Can only get this channel is growing as much as support as I get from you guys. I'm happy to do this for you guys, and I want to keep it going. Piano is my passion. I want to do this for free all the time, but you know, I need people to watch this in order to continue to do that. So hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, notification as well, reminders of whenever I go live on these lessons. And last but not least, share this video with people who would appreciate it. Okay, this is the right hand from the pickup to 25. To 32. And you hear? Very deceptive, because instead of this, it's like a continuation. Okay, from the pickup to 25, right hand, ready, go. Oh, I went too far. Okay, here we go with the left hand now. So it's like the same harmonies basically. It's octaves and sevenths. We're just really high up in this range. Okay, do that together. Ready, go. Whoops. All right, let's do it together now. Both hands first. I do want to point out I measure 28. So we have 16ths. And when you play this in the thumb, you want to make that sound as part of the same scale, okay? Because it is. It's kind of continuing from here, or starting from here. Okay? Alright, pick up to 25. Let's try it together. Ready, go. Alright, 32 to the end. I'm gonna give you the coda, which means ending. Alright, so that's the ending part. It's like a short little section. By the way, after we do this, make sure you stick around for the end of this lesson. I'll give you a quick recap. You're not going to want to miss that, okay? It's good to review a lot of the things that we learned at every lesson, okay? That's something that a lot of students don't really do, is review the stuff that they learn at the lesson. You're really like missing out on a lot if you don't do that. Okay, here's just the right hand, 32 to the end. I'm not gonna hold all that. Okay, what I mean is like you don't really have to like count it religiously. There's like 6 beats, 5 beats here. Like you don't waste your time counting that. Just because when you do both hands again, you're going to play with the correct rhythm. So this is a way to really save time. Okay. All right, 32 to the end. Ready, go. All right, left hand. It's so awkward. Okay, PP. You need to use the restroom. All right, left hand, 32 to the end. What up, Rudger? Ready, go. Yeah, I really don't know what you're talking about, man. Rudger or Roman, whoever you are. Okay, what do you mean by that? You want a pee-pee? Okay, that's nice. All right, 32 to the end, both hands. Listen. Whoops. Oh my God, I butchered that. Whatever. Sorry, that's the weirdest request I ever got. Can I give you a pee-pee? Alright, 32 to the end, both hands together, and I'm gonna wrap this lesson up, give you a quick recap, alright? Ready, go. Alright guys and gals, thanks so much for watching this video. Here's a quick recap. The 2 main things we learned are small chunking, basically dividing it up. It's kind of understanding the form of the music that you're practicing. And the second concept we learned is spaced repetition. Going back to chunking. We went from the beginning, from the measure 1 to measure 8. We called that, no problem, see you later. Bye-bye, Rudger. Thanks for checking this out. From beginning to measure 8, thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate that. Alright, so beginning to measure 8, we're going to call it A1. Alright, dividing the sections and also labeling it is very necessary and good for you. Now, measure 9 to 17, you can call that A2. And technically, you can go back from the very beginning and combine these 2 sections and call this entire section A. Okay? Alright, now, from the pickup to 17 all the way to 25, this is the B section. But of course, you can divide that up as well. Because longer sections if you're not used to it, you do need a bit of concentration to be able to pay attention for that long period of time. It's like watching a 30-minute movie, and then all of a sudden trying to watch a 2-hour movie. It's like you don't have the attention span for it yet. So you might have to build that up. And then from 25 to 32, we call that A3 because it's very similar to the beginning. It's like the same thing. Actually, it is the same thing. It's just a melody, right? And then 32 to the end, we're going to call that Dakota. So we have 3 different sections here. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one, Dakota, is a very short section, okay? The second, very important concept. spaced repetition. Instead of doing the traditional way, like a million times in a row till you get each part to perfection. Don't do that. Forget all that. You just want to do it enough times where you're getting a bit of progress, then move on and do something else, okay? Then you come back and you can practice it again. So it's over time. You wait like 10 minutes or something. And then when it gets really easy, then you can wait 20 minutes. So you can get to a point where you're actually not even practicing certain sections for certain days. You don't have to practice everything every day. And it's kind of like a juggling act when you get to that point. So look it up online, spaced repetition. And a software that I use personally that really takes advantage of this is called Anki, A-N-K-I. There's usually for learning languages, but I use it for piano. It works really well. So check that out, okay? And that's it for today's lesson. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't liked this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't shared this video, share it with people. Okay, appreciate you guys a lot. Hope to see you guys next time, and happy practicing.